Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a deck review and kind of deck walkthrough of this Oracle deck. Before I get into it, just really quick, this is something that I bought with my own money a while back, so it's not sponsored, wasn't a gift, nothing like that. So this is like my real opinion. Yeah, if you've watched my unboxing and / review of these two decks by the Threads of Fate, there's the Jupiter's Tongue and then the Eventide or Eventide Messages of Affirmation. I'll link that video. That's made by the same people. In fact, this came out before these two decks. So I'll link those, and then I'll link this video back to this video too. Okay, and I know in that video I also referenced, I got one of these little postcards, and this is actually a print of one of the cards in this deck, and we'll look at that whenever I open this up. But to kind of give you an idea, this is the deck box, and on the front is lenticular printing, so it does that kind of 3D picture but not, or like the little shifty pictures that you'd see on stuff as a kid. It's that, like, I don't know if you can hear it, it's that kind of noise whenever you rub it. The only thing is you don't really want to do it too much because it does damage it. So it is plastic, and it's one of those with the magnet style boxes, and then on the back it says Empyrean Oracle, excuse me, a 44 card Oracle deck that asks for your willingness, your boldness, your courage. It insists upon transformation. Use only when you are called. And they really do mean it. I've only pulled this deck out a handful of times, and the first time I pulled a card from it, I cried. I know, I can feel the eye roll. If you guys know, yes, I may be a Cancer sun, but I got that hard shell, and for a card to just make me cry, it's a whole nother level. Because tarot or oracle just normally does not gut punch me. So, like, I mean it in all sincerity. When I say I cried, no. I was sobbing. It wasn't like one tear. No. And part of it was because I felt seen. But anyway, to continue on to the back of the box here, it's 44 cards, lenticular print, holographic backing on the cards, and a booklet is included, and it was created by Britt June and Blair Porter. And then it has their website, which I'll link everything down below. This particular one, at the time, their normal print run of this deck was sold out, and the only way I could get it was their discounted option, which is if there's any imperfections on the box. And honestly, I couldn't tell of any issues with the box. Like, the deck's still fine, and they'll say that on their website. But yeah, let's get into it. And this is one of the cards in the deck here. It has this print on the card. So when we open it up, we see a little booklet with the same print as on the front of the box, except it's matte so you can see, and it's just only like one part of the image. You can't see both options really. And then you can see the cards here. I'm trying to not get a crazy glare from my light here, but that is rainbow holographic. And then we have the inside of the box. And here, yeah, it's a little crooked, but if that's the box imperfection, then I'm okay with that. So let's see. It says, "Tend to the fire within, lace your spine with iron, grab your dagger, it's time." And then it repeats along. That is like one issue, is that it has the same font as some of the other decks of theirs. So if you struggle to read this font, you're gonna struggle with this deck in particular because they use it on the cards and in the booklet. It's kind of that gothic font that you can see here. Anyway, let's look at the cards and kind of give you an idea what they look like. On the inside of the box, there's a lenticular printing of the moon. It's just kind of hard to have the camera to focus and also get it to move with the shifty print. I'll just have that off to the side here. And then that is the card back. So we have an eye and some like bird wings or angel wings, and it is shinier or just as shiny in real life as it is on camera. I think in some aspects, depending on what angle you're looking at, it could be shinier than what you're seeing on camera. And I'm also trying to get a good shot without the crazy glare so you can see all of that. And you know what, let's before I get into the cards, I'll go over the book, just because then it will give me a chance to go over all the different cards. So that's the font that's on the cards, so if you struggle to read that, you're definitely going to have a hard time with the print with it. So what's interesting about it is, even though it's 44 cards, it's technically 22 sets of 2. So each set has a companion card, and it's all about like dark and light and that polarity. And so here's our index or table of contents and how they're grouped all together. And then they have different spreads that you can do with it. And then it'll have the print of the card, as you'll see here. Well, you can kind of see it. I can see it at my angle, but the word channel is not appearing on the camera. That is one of the downsides to this deck, is that you have to get it just right to be able to see. But I think it's unique enough that it definitely kind of makes up for that in its own way. So how it's broken down is it'll have the print without the lenticular printing on here, and then you'll have your word, and then it will break it down, and then they'll list the companion card down here at the bottom. So the companion to channel is static, and then it will list a song that they think kind of goes with it. And of all the ones that I've had, Their song recommendations are really diverse, and I found some new music that way, and some of them really encapsulate what is being described here. And I think that's pretty much it as far as the little booklet here. Just to kind of give you an idea, this is the one that's on the box of the deck here. There we go. I got both lines to appear. And then you already see the magic one, so I want to show you what that page looks like in here too. Just because, you know, there's a difference when it comes to printing, whether it's a booklet or a postcard or, you know, a card deck that's plastic. So yeah, it's pretty spot on. It's just the little book is more matte and not as glossy as this. So yeah, I definitely agree about what they say on here of only really use it if you feel called to. Okay, so let's look through all these cards. It's going to be a little slow going because I'm going to have to watch what's on screen so that way I can see if it's appearing. Because like from my vantage point, I can see all the letters and the words and all of that because of how lenticular printing works. But on camera, obviously there's nothing right now, but I can see it. So, okay, so this is channel. I just want you to really take that in. We have static. Dagger. This is cloak. And if you notice some of the images on here, it's a big difference in what it jumps from one to the other, whereas other ones it's very subtle. This one is unfurl. Retreat. And I know I'll probably say this as we go through, but some of this is just, it's a lot easier to enjoy in person. And I know, you know, even though I have like a decent camera here, you know, there's some things that camera just can't pick up. Thread. Of course, the companion to that is needle. This one is Portal. Ending. Light. It's funny, some of the cards, it's pretty quick. I'll be able to get it go back and forth, and there's other times when it's like, nope. Dark Star. There we go. That was a good shift. This is Hearth. This is Wilderness. Ecstasy. Endure. Oh, almost got it there. Ether. Is Earth. Amplify. Or I'm like battling out with the glare here and trying to get the image to pop up for you. There we go. It's definitely one of the harder ones to do. And this is, well, can I get it to appear? Abandon. There we go. Liminal. And that is the image that's on the inside of the box. This is Define. Man, that came in really quick. There like, hold on. There we go, trust. It was like half in, half out from my angle here. This is grip. And here's magic with the magic postcard. And it does shift to that. Mundane. That's beautiful. This one is flow. Look at that. And this is ebb. I can get it to, there we go. And this one is reflection. There we go. Oblivion. Attract, and that is the image on the front of the booklet here and on the box. And this is repel. Vision. Haze. Breath. This is death. I think the thing that makes their decks very unique in a way is it's not necessarily that they're macabre to be macabre, is that they're not afraid to have the shade with the light for a lot of their stuff, and it's also like design-wise, they're not afraid to take risks when it comes to like fun colors and patterns, but also like combinations that you don't normally see. And it's like really great quality too. This card is Dream. And this is Creation. But I'll go into a little bit more about that. This is Balance. Chaos. Discovery. Hold on. Okay, there we go. It's that angle plus it being sideways threw me off. It's Mystery. amend. And then hold on, I'm trying to actually, it's not appearing, of course, now I'm trying to look at it head on. Intervention, there we go. Like I said earlier, if you struggle with this style font, you're gonna really struggle with the lenticular printing, having it not appear fully, and then you're like, what is that word? That is the one of the big cons of this deck is if you can't read this font, or if you have problems with this font, and you can see, like, as we went through, how, you know, depending on how the printing is with this texture, it's not like the whole word comes in. It will be, you know, letters at a time. And then you're just sitting there like, what? Yeah, so I like the variety of just speaking in general about Threads of Fate. I like the variety of card styles that they have out there, and some of the design choices that they have, and the quality is really great. When it comes to this deck, it's definitely a use it when compelled to type of thing, because I don't know, it's one of those decks that I feel like if you use it too much, you'd either be getting sucker punched all the time and then it loses its oomph, or it just doesn't seem as poignant. And then the other thing, I think it's mentioned in here, or maybe it was mentioned in the email. Oh, here it is. Okay. It's about boldness, but also about nuance. They're believers in wholeness, the dark and the light. So each card brings polarity, which is why they went with the lenticular printing. The movement and shifting imagery is indicative of watery nature of self-work. So yeah, this is definitely about working on yourself, your shadow work, self-work, whatever you want to call it. It goes on to say, new layers are always pulling back. Each day we are able to zoom out further and see more of the bigger picture. The paradox is always present. You get to truly appreciate how things can be many things at once. The answer is often yes and no. Their goal was to create a deck that truly reflected the internal landscape and honor the work this community does on themselves and in the world. I can't remember where I read it, but it definitely said to not bridge shuffle because it will ruin well, it won't like immediately ruin it, but you're going to wear it out and then it's going to lose that lenticular printing prettiness and the shiftiness. So this is a deck that I will never bridge shuffle with, because then it's just not going to look great. So this is definitely a deck that I usually will do. I'll do like a series of cuts like this, so that way it's shuffled that way, and I'll just do it a whole bunch of times and kind of go from there. And then I don't want to do too much of the overhand shuffle, just because then you still have the cards, the lenticular printing going up against each other. And I think if you did the big messy shuffle where you go around like that, you're still going to be scratching up the printing. And so that's kind of how I arrived at doing my little stack thing, and I try to do it like a whole bunch of times whenever I shuffle this deck, just because, oh, there is one of my hairs, hold on. You know, it's not that I don't want it to get, you know, worn out. It's more of a, I still want it to have the really nice shifty properties. And if, you know, I guess maybe because like I grew up with this type of printing on like binders and different toys and whatnot, after a while you'll see how it will degrade if you know, mess with it too much. So yeah, that's my big recommendation, is just be very careful, especially since, you know, this is one of my more expensive decks that I've purchased. And not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just, if you're spending more money on a deck than, say, like this deck, I want to say this deck was the equivalent of like 3 of these, maybe more, I can't remember because it's been a bit, then, you know, you don't want to go all out and, you know, ruin all this really pretty printing. And that's not to say that it's not durable, it's just, it's the nature of the printing. It's gonna, over time, as you do all little fingernail scratches and all of that all over it, however you want to put it, it's gonna just go away. So yeah, I'm thinking of, oh, that's the other thing, I just totally remembered. I need to show you like relative size, because you don't know how big the cards are. I don't think you'll actually want to sleeve these, just because they're so thick and, well, actually somewhat, well, they're so thick, I highly doubt you could find a sleeve big enough to handle it, but I'll just have my little sleeve sheet here. So I am not sponsored by them, they just had a printable PDF thing so I could size cards. So yeah, it looks like, based off of that, there isn't a card sleeve that would really fit, unless you want to go super oversized, and it'd be this last one down here, but that would be too big. So let's just see how, oh goodness, that one really wants to jump. That is exactly 3 1/4 of an inch, so 3.25 inches. And then for centimeters, it's going to be 8.3. And then this way, it's going to be 4. Hold on. It's just a smidgen over 4.75. So just a little bit over 4 3/4 of an inch. And then for centimeters, it is, goodness, I would say just over 12.1. And then thickness, I don't know if that will actually register. Well, actually, that might be a 32nd of an inch. So it does have some thickness to it. Yeah. I've only used it when I felt called to, and it's usually something that I've needed to work on internally, and it's could be something that I've already been aware of in therapy or with different things I've worked on in the past with other relationships. Now that all being said, it's not all of the shadow cards. It seems like for me a lot of the shade side of the cards will come out as opposed to the light side, because remember, it's 22 sets of 2, with each set of 2 being a light and a shade, a dark and a light, however you want to put it. But I think I will pull a, I'll see what comes out, but I want to like shuffle this a bunch here. I'm gonna do my little cuts. See what comes out for the viewers. Then you can have an idea of what the messages are like. Because I'm not going to read through the whole book, because that would be silly. I think let's do one more little cut stack thing. Actually, okay, and then let's see, I'm kind of feeling like maybe 2 or 3 messages, so whatever. I'm gonna be very gentle doing this, because I don't want, as we talked about earlier, I don't want it going all the little noises with the lenticular printing. So I don't think I'm gonna do trying to get a jumper out per se. I just want to get a couple of good shuffles here. And then I think I might do my the one style of pulling that I use for the moon cards. Okay, so what messages do my viewers need to hear? Okay, I feel like it is. Yeah, definitely that one. And then think there's one in here. Yeah, that feels right. Yeah. Okay, I have 3 cards for you. Whichever one you feel drawn to, you can take. I'm going to read them all. You can take them all. You can take none. You can take some. It's mix or match. It really doesn't matter. So the first one is Discovery. Oh, and it's not in alphabetical order, so you have to look at the index here and then go into the booklet. Oh, I think I just passed it. Yep, okay. We will always want to make sense of things, to package them up nicely, assign them a purpose, and find reason. Discovery asks you not to. When we are uncovering, we do not need to find a label. We do not need to categorize or ascribe meaning. We do not need to react or project into the future. We just need to stay open, to stay in the moment of discovery. When we attempt to define what's coming up, we are putting up blocks and seeing the whole picture. We want to keep our arms wide, hungry for discovery, to bear witness and let it land within us however it chooses to. We may not see or feel the seeds being planted, but trust that they are. And the companion card is Mystery. And the song is Wild Woman by Your Smith. And I'll link that down below. And that is the card. The next one is Retreat. I think maybe if I prop it up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'll prop it up and then you can see, because I'll put it at an angle and you can kind of see the word, kind of. Okay, so retreat. Sometimes it is absolutely necessary to retreat, and this word is often laced with shame. It has become synonymous with quitting rather than a strategic decision that allows one to keep going, but the best generals know when to retreat. It allows us to catch our breath, to tend to our wounds, to find the path forward. Often we can, oh goodness, I'm going to start over. Often we can feel this need rising within us, and if we honor that call, the layers will weave themselves together more seamlessly. When we ignore that deep knowing, outside forces often organize and bring it upon us anyway, which we can feel more painful and jarring and may leave us trying to claw our way out of it. If you were driving mountain roads alone and a thick fog rolled over, you likely wouldn't risk forging ahead when you couldn't see beyond a foot in front of you. It's time to heed that call within you. Maybe you felt it growing, or perhaps your body is trying to communicate that it's time. When we aren't feeling well or we're lacking our usual energy, it's our body trying to do what's in our best interest, hoping we will listen. Now is the perfect time to prioritize necessity, but not go beyond that. Only do what must be done and wait until you feel it's the right time to expand. The companion card is Unfurl, and this is one of those scenarios where I can not tell what the song title is. think it says Sabinsley by Black Coffee. I'll link it down below. I know I'll be able to find it. And then the final card is Portal. Okay. There we go. Portal. Your mind is a landscape that you get to travel. And when you pay attention, you quickly become aware of the things that make it feel like dredging along in rugged terrain as opposed to walking through a meadow. We have all experienced the moments where we hear a song or smell a particular scent, and we are transported to another time and place. In other words, we enter a portal. When we can learn to create these portals for ourselves, life becomes more enchanting. Often the problem is simply our willingness to take the first step. Everyday portals can be choices, feelings, conversations, music, or quite literally anything you decide. For someone who's wanting to be healthier, cooking themselves dinner is a portal to a new way of being. It is not simply the action, but the feelings that come along with it that can open up an entirely new experience. The portal asks you to open your eyes, view each moment as a portal to the next. Where can you go? Which one do you want to step through? Where channels are often more thought and feeling oriented, portals also include action. Do not buy into any of the doubts you may be feeling. These old patterns are attempting to prevent you from growing. It's time to step boldly in the direction you want to go in. And the companion card is Ending. And the song is Alternate World by Sunlux. So yeah, that is the Empyrean Oracle deck by the Threads of Fate. Pretty unique deck. I know I've kind of covered everything, but I think it's a really interesting take on some really fascinating self-work concepts, and it's like another way to perceive the world but also look inward. If you have any thoughts about the deck, have any questions, I'll have everything down below. Kind of curious what you think about the deck, if there's anything that stands out to you. I really hope this is helpful for you, because I know this is a more expensive deck, which I'm not complaining about the price. It's just, when you could buy several decks for the price of one deck, I know it makes people hesitant to buy a special deck like this, or if you have a lower paying job and you only have so much money in your budget, you want to evaluate what deck to get. So I really truly hope this helps someone decide whether or not they want to get this deck. You'll definitely see this deck on the channel. I'll definitely use it in readings. I won't use it unless I'm really called to using it, and so far I haven't felt really called to use it except for in the review here, which is kind of funny, but you'll definitely see it going forward. and I'll definitely feature it in like different readings where we're more aimed at working on the self and looking at your shadow and things of that nature. Anyway, I think I'll leave that with you here. If the little 3-card pick a card thing that we had here resonated with you, like, definitely leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I appreciate all the likes, all the viewers, the watchers, the subscribers, all of it, and really hope that you have a wonderful day.